All right, I got another clip here from Question Period. Now, this is from today, and Mark Carney and Pierre Poilievre got into a pretty heated exchange. The crowd went wild. The house was erupting. It's a pretty crazy exchange, so I'm going to let this go. I'm not going to add too much commentary because it is a bit of a lengthy exchange. But before we do get into this, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Really helps grow the channel, and I appreciate you guys so much for doing that for me. So, let's have a look, and then we'll talk about it.
Today, the Prime Minister and I will meet to discuss the 10th Liberal budget deficit. Our priority as Conservatives is an affordable budget for an affordable cost of living for the Canadian people. The Prime Minister promised he would spend less, but his deficit spending is 100% more. He promised he'd be judged by the prices at the grocery store. Well, they're now rising at 2 times the Bank of Canada's target, and inflation is now once again out of control. Will the Prime Minister learn from the inflationary, costly failures of the 10 years of Liberal government and accept our plan for an affordable budget for an affordable life?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this budget will get operational spending under control. It will balance our spending over the next 3 years. But we're not going to stop there. We are going to invest in this country. We're going to have the biggest investment in this country in generations, the largest capital spend in generations, the most ambitious trade diversification in our nation's history. We will do everything to help Canadians get ahead, as they have gotten ahead every single month since I became Prime Minister.
The Honourable Leader.
Sorry to pause it so quick, but what's he talking about? The number one concern, according to Abacus, is the rising cost of living. So Canadians have done better each month since he's been Prime Minister. Okay, then why is your support dropping, and why is the rising cost of living at 62% in terms of the number one issue? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a bunch of crockish shit from these Liberals all the time.
The opposition. Never bought groceries lately.
Canadians, according to this Prime Minister, have never had it so good. If you're that single mother out there walking down the grocery aisle looking at prices rise before your eyes, if you're that senior choosing between eating and heating, if you're one of the countless Canadians who see that roasted coffee is up 41% since the Prime Minister took office, that nuts and seeds up 15%, that food price inflation is now double the target, or if you're one of those 2 million people that are lined up at food banks every single month, the Prime Minister says you've never had it so good. How is it possible for this Prime Minister to be so costly and so out of touch with reality?
Here, here. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Okay, Mr. Speaker, it's time once again for our economic lesson. Okay. Getting ahead means your wages grow faster than inflation. Let's look at the relationship between inflation and deficits. The inflation rate in Canada, the food inflation rate, is the G7 average, and we have the lowest deficit in the G7. What the government is going to do is use that deficit to grow this economy like it's never seen before.
Well done.
We're going to. More promising.
So the Prime Minister says to that single mother, that small business owner, that senior I just referenced out there, that he needs to give you economic lessons. You are the one out there who are watching prices rise right before.
Yes, the Honourable Member knows to speak through the chair, and there was a lot of noise around that, so if the Honourable Member could just start from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is now lecturing Canadians who are lined up at food banks, telling them that they've never had it so good. That if only they appreciated all the many promises that he's made, promises that he hasn't even begun to keep, that they would then be appreciative of the fact that here we have fresh and frozen beef is up 14%, fresh and frozen cut chucks up 12%, frozen meats up 11%, coffee grains up 40%. Does he believe that people paying these exorbitant prices should be thankful for his economic lessons?
Yeah. The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we promised to cut taxes for every Canadian. 22 million Canadians have their taxes cut. We promised to cut taxes on first-time home builders. They've been cut. We promised to cut the carbon tax. It's been cut. You weren't here.
No, it hasn't.
It's been cut. And we promised to build this country strong. November 4th, this House will have a choice. Are you with us for those single mothers? Are you with us for those farmers? Are you with us to build this country strong so they can get it?
Again, I would remind honourable members, it's through the chair. The honourable leader of the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I think he meant to say, are you with us for the bankers and bondholders who will be collecting record interest payments on the newly doubled national debt? The Prime Minister has literally doubled the deficits that he inherited from the Liberal government, deficits that were already exorbitant and out of control. And what do you know? Inflation immediately started to rise. 2 of the 4 measures are outside of the acceptable Bank of Canada range. All 4 measures are above the Bank of Canada's 2% target. The more he spends, the more things cost. Does he acknowledge at least that every dollar he spends comes out of the pockets of hardworking Canadians?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we are putting more dollars in the pockets of hardworking Canadians because we cut taxes on 22 million Canadians. Mr. Speaker, our focus is putting even more dollars in the pockets of hardworking Canadians. That is why we will have the most ambitious capital investment program this country's ever seen, the most ambitious home building program this country has ever seen, the biggest investment in defence and our industrial capacity that this country's ever seen, and the biggest and most effective climate competitiveness strategy that this country has ever seen.
The honourable member for Belleuil-Chambly.
Okay, so you see the House erupted multiple times with boos. They of course don't like when Pierre Poilievre calls them out. And every time Mark Carney speaks, you saw like multiple standing ovations and the clapping seals just going absolutely crazy. Yeah, the Conservative cabinet members or the MPs rather do it too, but the Liberals are much louder. They're screeching banshees because they know they're trying to they're trying to show people that they are united and they're strong and everything's going great. I actually can't believe that Mark Carney said that people are doing better every month since he's been Prime Minister. That is a joke. That is massively untrue. Again, number one issue by far, cost of living. Healthcare is a big problem. The economy is a problem. Housing affordability and accessibility is a problem. And of course, Trump and immigration. What's gotten better? I know there's like a slight downtick of immigration, but it's not long enough of a sample size to say it's going down over the long term. There's also the Century Initiative, which I'm sure you guys heard of, where there's a plan to have Canada's population grow to 100 million people by the year 2100. Well, with the birth rate being at 1.3 and no plan to get it up, the Liberals won't even talk about it. At least Pierre's brought it up a couple times, but the Liberals won't even mention it. So if there's a plan to have a population of 2,100, how are you going to get there if the birth rate's 1.3? There's only one way you can get there if that's the case: mass immigration.